With the recent surge in information technology, advocates and critics alike have been discussing the advantages and disadvantages of this change. Our group's thesis at the end of last quarter was that progression in the technological field has positively impacted the world through medical, transportation, and social aspects of life to prove that the evolution of technology has benefited society. However, throughout the second quarter, we discovered more prominent examples of how technology benefits society. We had the opportunity to sit down with Mr. Johnson, instructional technology specialist at Highlands High School, to discuss the impact technology has had on his field. We found that there are social, educational, and political benefits.
Well, a lot has changed over 10 years. I believe it's January will be the 10th anniversary of the iPhone. You know, if you go back and you look at the history of technology, starting even back in the 40s, every 20 years there's some big innovation. In the 1940s you had the invention of supercomputers, and then about 20 years later you have the invention of transistors, which are probably the most important invention to technology. And then you go another 20 years, you have the IBM PC, which was a huge milestone in technology. And then you go about another 20 years after that, and then you start having the iPhone, which was the precursor to tablet technology and a lot of personalized technologies.
What we want to do is make a leapfrog product that is way smarter than any mobile device has ever been and super easy to use. This is what iPhone is, okay? So, we're going to reinvent the phone.
So if you go back 10 years, you have iPhones, you have tablets, and not only have those changed technology in the sense of new devices have been developed, but just the back-end technology used to support those devices. So you have more personalized technology now.
Recently, there has been a change in how people socialize, and technology has been a big influence. With social media apps like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, people find it easier to socialize through technology rather than face-to-face. This creates many possibilities on how technology can expand socializing. Not just do these apps make it easier to socialize, they also make it easier to do more formal things like arranging meetings to paying bills. Technology has created apps to help make socializing easier without leaving the comfort of your home.
Over the past 10 years, personalized technology has been the biggest innovation, the biggest thing that's really been a game changer. The ability for people to not just use content, but to make content their own through social media, through digital bookmarking and sharing and things like that.
Recently, there has been a spike in schools using technology as a teaching tool. They have adopted the role of personal computers and tablets in the classroom.
One of the reasons I am in the field that I am in, because I think technology can play a huge role in education. Anytime that we can put a wealth of information in students' hands, it's going to benefit them. Information has changed over the past 20, 10, even 5, 2 years. You know, the information that I had available to me as a student in high school doesn't even resemble the information that high school students have now. Just the access to information, the ability to create as opposed to consume, those are the biggest things.
Here at Highlands, we have been fortunate enough to see this firsthand with our MacBook laptops. These laptops have brought in so many opportunities to learn. They totally eliminate having to share a computer lab with the rest of the school.
Right now, our district has done an exceptional job of providing access to devices to students K through 12. My field is not that much different than what we're expecting students to do. That's really the good thing about my job and about the technology we're providing students, is because we're trying to mimic the real world. My job is to help teachers, help students collaborate, communicate, and create, and it's the same for me. So just having access to do those things, to having the correct device and the correct software to create things, to be able to collaborate real time and communicate real time with other people, even if they're not inside the building.
Yet, with all good, there must be something bad. In this case, it's storage. Schools underestimate the amount of storage that they need for all the students to be able to create and express themselves how they like.
You know, one of the things that we first noticed when we started giving devices to students was that they needed space. I'm not sure we even anticipated how much space students would need, because we want them to create things. We want them to create video recordings. We want them to create audio recordings. We want them to have access to green screen technology. We want them to have access to Skype and to Google Hangouts and places like that where they can contact people from the outside world. Probably one of the biggest investments we need to make in it is to figure out how we can create the space that we need for students to create and to communicate and collaborate the way we want them to do.
Innovations in technology have also changed the political landscape. In the post-information age, technology shapes our political knowledge more than we initially perceive. Consider the daunting statistic that tells us that for the first time ever in history, There are officially more mobile devices than people in the world. All of these devices contribute to our growing global initiatives of interdependence. We can now communicate with individuals across the world at the touch of a button. And the more connected we become more aware of our nation's government. This can even be seen before the invention of mobile devices, with televisions playing a large role in the Kennedy-Nixon debates. While listeners of the radio thought Nixon had the better points, an overwhelming majority of viewers that watched on television thought Kennedy won. This was because of his calm and collected appearance on stage. More recently, technology has had a large impact on the 2016 presidential election. Voice recordings and hacks from WikiLeaks exposed candidates Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump on the campaign trail. As a result, they experienced backlash from critics and the media for their lack of public consideration and transparency. Even candidates who do not share the same spotlight are affected by technology. Individually funded candidates are becoming more of a reality thanks to the internet. 2016 presidential candidate Bernie Sanders raised $185.8 million by an average donation of only $27 per person, which is only $1 million shy of Clinton's corporate-funded campaign.
Social media played a role in the election process and how people interact with each other. Even though they may not be political people, they've changed the way they react to other people just based off their social media posts.
Instant communication has informed us about candidates and campaigns that media on television simply does not, and donations are made easy with companies such as PayPal allowing for flexible payment options. Our revised thesis is now progression in the technological field has positively impacted the world through educative, social, and political aspects of life to prove that the evolution of technology has benefited society. Throughout the rest of the year, we will continue our journey in discovering how technology benefits society.